And good evening with Ridgecrest Talk, your host Paul Vander. Tonight's topic is disc golf. Disc golf is something we're going to learn about because not all of us are familiar with the sport. But tonight we have two of our local experts, Jim Cook and Tommy Cooper, to talk with us about what's going on in the Ridgecrest as well as the area greater than Ridgecrest. Tommy, why don't you go ahead and start off, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about how you got started with the sport.
Yeah, so my name's Tommy Cooper. I got started disc golfing actually at a campground in Morro Bay, where they just had basically poles coming out of the ground with numbers on them, and we actually played with frisbees and threw around, and that's the first time I played, and I kind of stumbled across the course in Ridgecrest in 2006, started buying the actual discs that you use for the game, and just kind of started playing and fell in love with it very quickly, and I've been playing nonstop for 8 years now since. I'm Ridgecrest local. I work at the Hampton Inn and Suites here in town. My wife, Angela, owns a yoga massage center in town, and that's pretty much what we do, and we're not disc golfing and doing other stuff.
All right. Jim, why don't you let us know about you a little bit.
Jim Cook. I moved to Ridgecrest in 2008. When I moved here, new resident, one of my neighbors was introducing me, getting me out, and says, come play disc golf. Played ball golf a long time. I went out and played disc golf, and first time you try something, you're not that good at it, and I just had to get better. So kept playing, met Tommy through playing disc golf, and now we have a sample of our discs. We play just about try and get out and practice and throw. And so I've been playing since 2009, and always try and find a new course somewhere to play.
Right. And one of the first things that strikes me here in Ridgecrest is we always talk about young professionals coming to town. There's other things that attract them besides the job. It's the community, it's the weather, it's the family activities, the recreational activities. And you two kind of fit that mold of the people we want to attract to our community, the young professionals with a family. And coming to the town, we always joke about how you have to sneak in at night, so you see the lights and it looks like a big town.
There you go.
But then over those first year or two, the community starts to grow on you. Obviously, you both kind of passed that test. You moved here, 8 and 6 years ago?
Yes.
I've actually lived here my whole life.
And you actually came back?
Yeah, that was a temporary thing.
All right. And so it's like college or you're somewhere? Oh.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Okay.
We've had some of our social media that we have with disc golf. A couple new residents that have found our disc golf community, and they're in the same demographic that Tommy and I are in, that have found disc golf here, and they've joined our community within the last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. So there's actually other people moving to the community who are actually getting on the internet, and they're going, okay, how do I hook up with the disc golf community here?
Where
Exactly.
Coming to our community, Ridgecrest, where can I still play? Some of the other cities that they are moving from, a lot of courses there, bigger courses with a lot greater selection. So Tommy and I have been able to build a profile in social media, and we've drawn attention and got, like I said, got a couple new players in that are regulars. So it's not just the one-timers, but it was an effective way to get the disc golf in Ridgecrest spread.
Right. Now, we think of traditional golf or ball golf, the 18 holes, or you go 9 holes, even the pitch and putt course.
Sure.
And then I remember back in Boy Scouts when I went up to camp, we had archery golf, where we were actually shooting a rubber-tipped arrow on these long courses out in the wilderness and just having a blast. What is disc golf, and how do you explain that to somebody who's never been out on a course?
Well, it's scored the same way that traditional golf is, or ball golf. Those of us who disc golf is disc golf to us, so we call it ball golf, the golf that everyone else is used to. So it's scored the same way. That's almost where the comparisons end. In a traditional golf course, the fairways are wide open. They get all the trees out of the way. And in disc golf, you keep all the trees in the way because those are your obstacles. That's what you have to go around. while you're working your way to the basket, counting your strokes, and instead of, putting a ball in a hole, you're putting a disc into a basket, which is just a catching apparatus, basically.
Right, and so instead of worrying about a sand trap that the disc is going to fall into, you're worrying about how you're going to get around this tree and what your lie is going to be for your approach shot, or however that goes. How far apart typically, or how many shots do you expect? Do you have like a par? It has to be
There is
in
par.
3 shots?
The most typical par for a disc golf is 3. Newer courses, the level of the game is increasing rapidly, and there's starting to be a lot more par 4s and par 5s. But par 3s is pretty traditional as far as that goes. It's not turning out to be that way anymore. But you go to courses all the time that are 18 holes, all par 3. So you're expected to get there in 1, 2 for a birdie. If you don't make it, you can hope to pick up your par or get a bogey.
Some of the distances in those that 18-hole par 3, some of those distances can range anywhere from 250 feet for a par 3. So equate that from 250 feet to yards. It's not as many yards. So 250 feet, anywhere to 400 feet, and those are a range of a good par 3 hole.
Right, and you can basically play in any weather.
Any weather.
Yeah, it is a rain or shine sport.
No lightning.
So everything but lightning, obviously.
Everything but
Right.
lightning.
The baskets are metal. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And so as you're playing or getting ready to play, what is it that you personally have to bring out to the course? I mean, I see that we have some discs. You typically, I see the backpacks. Do you guys just take your backpack with a number of discs with you?
Yeah, I mean, we bring lots of different stuff. I always have a lot of towels in my bag, sunscreen, snacks, drinks. Especially us when we go out of town to play courses, we're playing all day because we got to drive 2 hours. We're going to get our money's worth. So
this is typically a no caddy sport. You're not having a caddy.
Oh, I have a caddy sometimes. My wife has caddied for me before. Other Ridgecrest disc golfers have caddied for me at tournaments. It's nice to not have to carry your bag. It's where a lot of the fatigue comes into, especially most of the time you're playing at least 2 rounds in a day in a disc golf tournament.
All right. Well, that's a great introduction. We've got the introduction to our sport. We're going to go to break here in just a few moments. But Ridgecrest does have a history with disc golf. We've had a course over at our old traditional Ridgecrest Park, Helmers Park, and we're going to talk about that after break. But let's go ahead and go to break. Ridgecrest Talk. I'm Paul Vander, your host, and we're talking with our local disc golf community members, and we'll be back right after this. All right, that's a hole-in-one right there with Ridgecrest Talk. Your host, Paul Vander, talking disc golf with our guests from the local community. And we just, before break, talked about a little bit, we were going to talk about the history. So Tommy, why don't you tell us a little bit? I've seen these before, but why don't you tell us the history of where you've seen these here in Ridgecrest?
When I was a kid, I remember seeing these. There was 2 of them at Leroy Jackson Park. At the time, I had no idea what they were. And funny thing that you run into at courses, sometimes other people don't know what they are, and they do strange things with them, make them into barbecues, all kinds of things. I didn't know what they were, and it didn't really dawn on me until I started playing that that's what those were all those years back. But my understanding is those got torn out and thrown away at some point. They probably weren't being used because they were just kind of put there. Nobody really knew what they were. So in 2006, I believe, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe in 2006 is when the 9-hole course got put in at Helmer Park. And it was put in by a PE teacher at Monroe, who I don't know what teacher, but PE teacher at Monroe put it in. And when we played there back in 2006 to 2010 when it got taken out, sometimes the kids would be over there playing. So the PE teacher would take them over there. They'd play 9 holes. He said it was great, and the kids liked it.
And I think that's a great opportunity for our listeners at home. KZGN is on Facebook, and there is a way to interact where we can get some feedback about anybody who knows the history of this. So they know who was involved or what the years were, what the times were, whether it was our old Rocket Park, the Leroy Jackson County Park, or our Helmers Park, which was our old favorite Ridgecrest Park where we met when I was a kid for social events. And both of those have changed significantly today. Of course, Helmer's Park is closed completely, and Leroy Jackson Park has just opened its new extension, the Petroglyph Park. But this is an outdoor event. It doesn't seem like it's a whole lot of work. But now this one is a portable rather than a permanent.
Yes, this is what we use for our local leagues because they are portable. We can take them down, put them in our trunk. They're not very heavy. The real deal is very heavy. Like, I can do it by myself, but I'd rather not. So this is ideal for us taking down and putting up a course every week.
Right. And now I've seen you guys out and about, actually a couple different places, whether you're just throwing to practice or having a tournament. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on, but you guys actually have organized leagues that you're playing.
Yeah.
And Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about how that's been going the last little while?
Well, shortly after the permanent park at Helmer was pulled out, our source of disc golf was just taking a couple portables out to the parks and just throwing around there. It was my Tommy and I were talking, we need to get something local on a more recurring basis. And so we started up a weekly leagues that run anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months with a weekly play. So we set up our baskets in at Freedom Park, set up 6 baskets and make an 18-hole course out of that using different tee locations. And so we have different divisionals, advanced, intermediate, and with the frequency of the female population that we have coming out, we have routinely 4 ladies that come out. We've had more, so we're hopefully going to be getting a ladies division, a recurring ladies division in our weekly disc golf. We one of the name that we came up for our disc golf community, as we were talking about, Helmer had the first course. Helmer was the first course that I played. I kind of pirated the name Helmer Memorial Disc Golf to represent our local disc golf community. So that's we've just completed our last league about 3 weeks ago. We're looking to start up again probably mid to late February.
Right, so the Helmer Memorial name lives on through the disc golf in the community.
Yes, it does.
And those permanent, I guess, what do you call it, an individual
basket?
Basket. Those permanent baskets were taken out when the community decided to make that in a solar project.
Yes, they were.
And where are those now? Are those in the dump site somewhere, or where are those?
We actually have possession of all 9 of the baskets. They're actually at my house under
lock and key, so don't even think about it.
Not at all. So we have those, and basically we need to figure out where we're going to get them put in for a permanent course here in Ridgecrest.
Right, and just off camera, we talked before a little bit about the baskets, and it almost sounded like back in my day it was the Taco Bell that would disappear from the store and it would show up maybe on C Hall over at the high school.
Sure.
And everybody would look around amazed. I don't know how the Taco Bell got here. But you actually had some stories where some of the baskets would disappear and you'd be on a hunt. But they're all back. They're all ready to be used.
They are.
But there's no permanent location for those right now.
There is no permanent location. Tommy can talk more to it, but we have a proposal worked up and just need to move forward on getting a course put in.
So, Tommy, let's talk about that. The politics here. You have a political action committee all set up, or?
No, I wrote up a proposal for the college. It was originally Jim Ponick was the Parks and Rec director when the course got pulled, and he was gracious enough to help us out, got us in touch with some people at the college. We went up there. The basket stayed up there for a while myself and some others, it was a collective effort. We designed some holes. We made some layouts. We had some people at the college come and watch us play 9 holes so they could kind of see how it was going to go. And ultimately, the college decided not to put them in, at which point the college turned the baskets over to us.
Now, is just a couple of silly questions that kind of come to mind. Is there such a thing, kind of like in speed chess, where you have a timing? Do you actually have a time of how long you're allowed between throws, or how does that work?
Absolutely. When it's your turn on the tee pad, you have 30 seconds to take your shot, and that's for any shot. When you're up, you got 30 seconds to take your shot.
And if you don't, then it's like a penalty.
Absolutely. Traditionally, it's you get a warning, and then after that, you can get stroked for it. But it's something that's only kind of called in kind of like tournament situations with serious players. We wouldn't do that
Kind
for
of
our local
pull a
league.
mulligan or something.
We're in no
Right.
hurry,
Now, what about, say, for ladies on the ball golf? Sometimes the ladies would have a shorter tee off. Do they all start at the same spot?
They do. Same as the men. Now, sometimes there's ladies only tournaments, and now there is women's divisions and men's divisions at tournaments. So they're playing against the other ladies. They're welcome to play in those divisions.
We're going to have to go back to break. This is actually really interesting, and there is some things that we can do in the community to improve this. But right now, we're going to go to break. Ridgecrest Talk, Paul Vander of Talking Disc Golf. We'll be right back. And we're back for our final segment of tonight's Ridgecrest Talk. I'm your host, Paul Vander. We're talking one of the great sports of the community here, Ridgecrest Disc Golf. And we currently have two of our local representatives, Tommy Cooper and Jim Cook. And we were talking kind of jokingly about the politics. And obviously you've done a lot of homework trying to get some course setups, talking with some of the spaces here in the community. Locally, we have a new mayor, Peggy Breeden, who is not new to the community, but new to the politics, and that might be one of the places for you guys to go to say, hey, help us out with promoting this activity and something fun for the community. We were talking before about up in Kennedy Meadows. When you want to kind of talk a little bit about the experience up there and what you've heard about that?
I got in touch through a disc golf website. Told me you need to talk to this guy, Tom Figueroa. He lives up in, he's not too far from you, and he's got a private course. So Tom Figueroa has a private course up there. I think he's got, is it 6?
6.
He's got 6. They're called. He doesn't have baskets like this. It's called object golf. He has whiskey barrels that you hit, and he uses that. And I guess some people that are doing the Pacific Crest Trail, they stop by his property. He lets them play disc golf for a little a break from walking, I guess. Do some more walking.
So you're out there hiking the trail, maybe a 2-week hike or however long that is, and what do you double your disc as a food tray, and you have to have that with you, or do they
Absolutely.
provide the
This is a great water dish for a dog. I see it on the course all the time. People go with their dogs, they take their water bottle, fill it up. Works the same for humans, right?
There you go.
That would be, I can see that as being type of a highlight when you're doing your recreation to come across, especially if it's something that you've played before, or if you had even planned on it.
Oh, yeah.
Being off course, trying to find out where is this course, we have to get back to where we're trying to go. It's actually, there's a whole lot more to this, as most things that you're not familiar with, as I haven't played a whole lot of disc golf. Let's talk about the organization nationally, and we're to talk a little bit about the leagues, but what is the national organization, and how do you guys get involved with that?
The national organization is the Professional Disc Golf Association, the PDGA, and they sanction tournaments all over the country. They have majors in other countries as well. They have majors in Japan, in Finland,
Germany.
Is Germany going to be this year? I think so. But they have majors, and then they also have a national tour and a world championships, which is held at a different course in the United States every year. And it's bid on, similar to the Olympics. City bids on it. They have to have a certain amount of courses within a certain amount of distance, because it's a whole week long. They play 7 rounds, I think.
Now, how is a community that sometimes has wind, how does wind tie in with disc golf? Can you play through the wind?
You can. It's challenging.
The wind, just like the rain, it's just another added challenge. It's another element that one thing we have here when we have our windy seasons, it's still a good challenge because you never know what course you're going to go to, what the conditions are. So knowing how to play, knowing how the different discs will be able to fly and react, it's a added skill to what your capabilities are. So it is excessive wind is you definitely still need to be able to throw in it.
Right. I was talking with my
Hey,
friends
Paul.
that plays
Hey,
the
Paul.
ball golf.
Paul, I'm actually on the air with you right now, buddy. I just want to let you
Yeah.
guys know that you've got a caller that's interested in hooking you guys up with 175 acres.
Wow.
So anyhow, after the show, we'll put you in touch with them, and there you go. You guys are on Ridgecrest Talk. Look at what
Wow,
happens.
thank you so much.
Sure.
That is
All right.
amazing.
So what it sounds like we have going on is this is a live show, and we actually have response from the community saying, this is a no-brainer. We want to support this in the community, and we need to connect this organization up and get some things going.
That's
And
great.
so it sounds like what we want to do is keep tabs with you guys and find out how this develops, and maybe have you guys come back and share with the response and how that goes at a later time. But let's also tell people, not just in setting up the course, but people that want to get involved locally. Now, when you're a professional Disc Golf Association member, you don't have to be actually a professional, but you can be at the amateur level just starting out
Absolutely.
as well,
I play amateur. Mhm.
right? So they have different levels of experience based on your skill, so you can
Yes.
compete. And even like bowling, there's a handicap, so I can have a handicap and I can compete with you, even though your average is
That's
much lower score than mine. If I do better than my norm, I might beat you in that. event.
Exactly, and you beat your average, you beat your handicap, which lowers your score, and then there you're winning for that particular week. So it's that benchmark. Once you have your handicap established, you know what your norm is on that particular setup, and you always have a goal to beat of beating your handicap.
Right, and now I show that you guys have a lot of the electronic internet type connectivity. Facebook, you guys are on Facebook. What is the actual name for your Facebook?
We are on Facebook, and it is HMDG93555.
So it's the zip code.
It is.
What do those stand for?
HMDG is Helmer Memorial Disc Golf.
Okay, so Helmer Memorial Disc Golf for HMDG 93555.
That's it.
And that'll connect you up with Facebook.
Yes.
Now, you guys actually have a Twitter account also?
Yes, we do.
I'm not an active Twitterer, but what do you do? Do you Twitter like during the event and when things are coming up? How do you use that?
Well, I post midweek reminders, spreading the word of disc golf for Ridgecrest. And so I have different people. The way Twitter works, I have different followers, people that I follow, people that follow me, and spreading the word, letting the disc golf Twitter world know what local events we have coming up, when our HMDG members are playing in tournaments or weekly events out of town, posting results for those. And that account is Twitter, HMDG OPER, short for operator, HMDG operator. So it's HMDG OPER on
Okay.
Twitter.
So when I'm working hard Monday through Friday, Wednesday hump day, I'm getting this Twitter that's getting me motivated for that weekend of disc golf.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, and I think we're just about out of time. I really appreciate you guys coming on and sharing this with you. This is a great low-cost solution for people in the community who say, there's nothing to do. Well, here's something that just looks like a lot of fun, and I'm going to have to get a little bit more in shape. I might be ready to start going out and playing.
Come on
Let's
out.
go ahead and wrap
Anytime.
up tonight. This is Ridgecrest Talk, talking with the local disc golfers, Tommy Cooper and Jim Cook. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Hopefully we get something real positive out of this.
Appreciate the opportunity.
All right. And that pretty much wraps it up. I think I'm going to have to get in shape if I'm going to throw this more than
No,
5 feet.
you can do it. Go ahead.
Maybe I can juggle them. I'm going to start breaking things in here if I do that. So.